for weeks at a time, especially the measles. That's why a lot of people were getting measles and transferring it in this Disneyland thing. We're already vaccinated because they were actually shedding the virus, getting other people sick. So thank you for that, Sylvia. Now we got James in California. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, gentlemen, for having me on today. Wonderful show, great topic. My experience was my son, he's 5 now. During delivery, my wife and I obviously were in the hospital, and this is 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Extremely tired, extremely stressed, and when they're ready to shoot your kid up with these things, it's just before they even ask you, they got these needles out and they're just ready to stick them. I mean, it was. I still wake up in the middle of the night and just freaked out, thinking something's going to go wrong. But luckily, we haven't experienced any difficulties yet with our son. He's bright, he's smart, no problems. I think part of the thing that we did do that was right as soon as my wife became. Sorry, I'm getting a little upset about this, but I live here in crazy California where they just want to push this garbage on you. Now we're forced to have our kids shot up with it just for them to go to school. We have our son in a private school right now, and basically when he's ready to go into the first grade, we're going to be moving out of here because we just don't want to deal with it. But just the pressure they put you under, during a stressful time like pregnancy and delivering your baby, and how they just want to shoot you up with this stuff, it's crazy. We had an all-organic diet as soon as she became pregnant, filtered our water. We still have an all-organic diet. We don't eat any GMO, processed foods, any of that garbage. Use clear mates and iodine. Use super male, super female. And right now everyone's healthy, and thank God for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the fact that you're taking action and going, you know what, we're not going to stay around in this system. We're just going to move our lives somewhere else. And that's what you have a lot of people doing. You have a lot of people putting their kids in homeschool. You have a lot of people just moving out of the state of California because they don't want to put up with the medical tyranny. And we're going to be back. I think we're only going to have time for those last 3 callers, Alden, Dr. Mike, and Crystal. I wonder if Dr. Mike is pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. That'll be interesting. He's in Wyoming. So stay tuned. We're going to find out here next on The Alex Jones Show. This is Rob Dew, and I'm your host.
Many experts are predicting that food prices will surge this year due to the severe drought in California. 30dayfoodsupply.com has pre-purchased a large supply of ingredients so we can continue to sell our 30-day food supply for only $99, and there's no limit to the number of boxes you can purchase. Our vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then pass the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184, and remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184. 800-700-2184 for 30dayfoodsupply.com.
The folks at My Patriot Supply get it. They know the world can be unpredictable, and there are some scary things happening right now. The only way we can make sure we maintain our independence, despite the situation, is to take control and get prepared. They've come up with a deal that will help you get prepared for anything. Right now, you can get a 4-week food supply for only $99. That's almost 50% off the online price. Call 800-274-3070 to claim yours while supplies last. Limit 2 per caller. This offer isn't available online, so take advantage of this opportunity to get prepared today. 800-274-3070 to get your 4-week food supply for the incredible price of only $99. Call 800-274-3070 right now. That's 800-274-3070 to claim yours while supplies last.
My Mike Stenerson from Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar's lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
Day after day, alone on a hill, the man with the
We're going to continue with your calls here for this last segment of the Overdrive Hour of the Alex Jones Show. I'm your host, Rob Dew. Coming up tonight, 7 p.m. Central, Leanne McAdoo is going to be covering the refugee crisis and show you how it's been manufactured, essentially. Well, one, by the U.S. and NATO going and bombing other countries and creating instability, which is creating refugees who want to get out of that. And then then you got Obama at the same time taking selfies out in Alaska, pretending, about this global warming crisis. At the same time, he's giving money to Iran, Saudi Arabia, and these countries aren't doing anything to help this immigration crisis of what's going on and just how all that folds together. She's going to be covering that and a whole lot more on the InfoWars Nightly News tonight. Prison Planet members at prisonplanet.tv can watch that live as it airs at 7 p.m. Central. And if you're not a member, I encourage you to get a membership today because you can share your username and password with up to 20 people at one time. So that's 20 InfoWarriors for the price of one. Now let's get back to your calls. We got a short segment. Alden, make your story quick. Go ahead.
I got two quick stories for you. One's about my sister. About 8 years ago, she got a Gardasil shot when she was 18. And shortly after that, she got chronic fatigue. And she had that for about a year, and they called it mono. Mm-hmm. And she got rid of it for about 6 months. Then it came back with, vengeance. And ever since it came back, she's had it to this day. And, it's very emotional. But I found out about the Gardasil effects and whatnot, and I talked to my mom, and she said that she already had the same conversation with my sister about it, and that she thought the same thing. But about me, a very similar thing happened to me when I was 18, about the same time frame as the vaccine my senior year, and about 3 months after that time, I had a migraine come in December 20th, 2009. I've had that same migraine every day for the past 5+ years, and I've had a stack, that stack of paper you have on that desk, that's like my file of medical documents. Have you seen the Botox commercials on TV? Mm-hmm. I've done that. It sunk into my eye socket, then I was blinded for 2 weeks. So, I've had horrible problems since, and my family's kind of been cursed because of it.
They've created a one-size-fits-all situation for people and are trying to cram everybody into it, and it is disgusting. John, I want to go to Dr. Mike next and see what he has. Make sure we get him in. Dr. Mike in Wyoming, can you hear me?
Yes, just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
To the woman from California who had passed out after vaccination, I would suggest that she go back to the Asian doctor who diagnosed her with an immune reaction to that vaccine, and see if he would help her make out a medical tag for her, a medical alert, so that if she does, if she's ever in a car accident or whatever, they don't vaccinate her while she's unconscious or unable to fend for herself. I tell you, I've written op-eds in the local paper, and if you want to see operatives come out of the woodwork, pharmaceutical companies must scour the newspapers. Even in a small town in southwestern Wyoming, they ferreted out my piece and wrote an opposing piece. Fortunately, I had enough ammunition to fight back from Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, her website and others that I just completely shot this guy down and never heard from him again. But I warn people, especially pregnant women, away from the hepatitis B vaccine, which they will jab into your child's thigh before he takes his first breath, which makes absolutely no sense in this country. So I do try to warn people, but it's kind of a gray area. If you look at the data that people have compiled, the number of autism and related cases start to rise very quickly. There's an inflection point back in the 80s. I
totally agree. Dr. Mike, we got to run. That's our show for today. Join us back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, and the Nightly News tonight at 7.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.